Hey guys, how's it going? Good to see you, Blueser, King Bean Pro. So this is gonna be a little bit different to usual streams. I'm not sure how this is gonna go, but we'll see. There's been quite a lot of stuff happening in the community across a bunch of streams and stuff, and I think it's a good idea to have like one location where um, we can basically summarize all the kind of things currently going on in the community, stuff that's happened maybe in the last week, last month. So the plan is to try and run this kind of a show on a weekly or monthly basis, depending on how much stuff is going on in the community. Yeah, there you go. You can actually see me. Hey guys. The plan is to have a look through some stuff. You can use exclamation mark slides in the chat, and you'll actually be able to see all the stuff that's going to be popping up on screen in a bit. Yeah, there's going to be a shit ton of cool links and stuff. So be sure to check that out. But yeah, let's go check it out. Here we go. Nice. Hey Zeno, good to see you. Hey Stevo, what's up? So State of Play, 3rd of May 2021. There's also a link here if anyone's watching the VOD. At the bottom left, you'll be able to access these slides at that point too. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, let's have a look. So what the hell is going on? What is this? As I say, it's a bit different to our usual format. So yeah, for State of Play, basically, as I say, it's going to be an informal weekly monthly show to highlight the events currently going on in the community. Yeah. So for today, there's some pretty basic structure to what's going on. Like, it's not going to be that rigid, but basically going through kind of recent things that have happened in terms of the tournaments going on, any upcoming tournament announcements, that kind of stuff. We're going to have a look at the current top 10 the leaderboard. Should be cool. We're going to have a look at the general state of the ladder and make a few comments on that. Oh, pretty good. Going to have a look at some of the content and clip highlights from the past week from all the creators. It's going to be really cool. There's going to be opportunities to chat with the top players, so if people want to get on mic, all that kind of good stuff. We can do that for future sessions. And then replay reviews. So we'll get to that and what we're actually going to look at today. So yeah, ongoing tournament updates. So there's two kind of tournaments in flux at the moment. The first one is AOD Gaming's Season 3 Plus Titans tournament. That seems to be going well. There were a bunch of casted games last week, so you can check out the VODs for myself versus Black Templar and the losers round 3. And in the winners round 3, you can check out the AOD Gaming versus DM Raider stuff there too. Hey Blizzard, cheers for the bits. The other thing to bear in mind, aside from AFD's tournament, is there's a bunch of controversy going on over Yodessa's tournament. For those who aren't in the know, about a year ago, I'd say at this point, Yodessa was one of the first people to host a TD tournament when it first came out, and a member of his chat had actually donated $100 towards a tournament for him to host, which never happened. So he's been kind of putting it off due to being busy and 101 other reasons. It was scheduled to take place last Saturday, so like 2 days ago, I believe. But because it wasn't organized and all this kind of stuff, it's been pushed back to the 15th of May. I would encourage people to actually sign up to that, just for the sake of making sure it does go ahead. It should be good fun. I haven't looked at the rules or maps or anything else. I've been informed he's more or less copy and pasted the last Groundhog Brawl I hosted, so that's fine. The rules and stuff should be fairly straightforward for that. But definitely I would suggest, just for the sake of the competitive scene and getting Dirk Collins his contributions put forward correctly, to sign up to that. But yeah, having a look at the Season 3 Plus Titans bracket at the moment. It's pretty cool, right? We have a whole bunch of stuff here. This might be slightly outdated if there were games at the weekend, but basically we've got Rash v Rambo in round 4 and Sai v Twizzy. And in the losers bracket, we've got Blackie versus AOD Gaming. Should be good. We had TTV Critical Meds versus Adam, I think yesterday. I believe Rambo's stream actually covered some of it, so be sure to check out the VOD for that. Where the score was, cover your ears now if you don't want to be spoiled, but the score was 2-1 in favor of Critical Meds. So that was an interesting matchup to watch for sure. You could see some cool quarry action there. But yeah, and again, be sure to check out AOD/gaming.com to be able to keep an eye on the updated bracket for future tournaments and all that good stuff. Awesome. So next up, we got the leaderboard review. So this is how the leaderboard currently looks as of the 2nd to the 5th. So yesterday, it might be slightly different now. I think Rambo lost a bunch of points last night, so he's actually below Rash at the moment. But for the most part, this is it. So Sai coming in rank 1. Rash, I believe, at the moment is rank 2. Rambo 3. Strelok and Twizzy, of course, for those who aren't in the know, the same person. They're taking up slots 4 and 6. We got DK Bangs GDI, DK's GDI account, and DK Bangs Girls, DK's not account. Great names. Positions 5 and 7. You got Uncle DJ, who's been grinding away. He's up at position 8. C and C Roadrunner, aka Chenson, I believe. One of his many accounts, currently coming in at number 9. And then we have, of course, CA Black Templar. He's managed to get back up to 10. The same person with 2 accounts. Yes, I know it's a case that there's a lot of Smurf accounts on the ladder, to be expected. We're going to go into a little bit of that in a second. Basically, with the family sharing feature of Steam, you can have the game played on multiple accounts with different names. So I think it's up to like 5 accounts or something, possibly more. So you tend to see a few players who want to play slightly differently, try cheese strats and stuff on their lower ranked accounts so they can hoard the points at the top. Or they might just be crying out crazy stuff, or they might just be deliberately playing some pretty toxic stuff. But yeah. And talking about toxic stuff, there's been a number of Pokemon accounts that have recently hit the ladder, which is kind of crazy. So these are all presumably Smurf accounts of the top players. So currently the Pokemon leaderboard, if you like, it's got Weedle at 20, Eevee at 21, Poliwrath at 23, Beedrill at 28, Kakuna at 74, Arcanine at 86, and Flareon at 117. So it's pretty funny. Some of these games are kind of hilarious to watch. It's likely that we'll have a look at that after this. Just to check out the latest games from each of these Pokemon and see what they've been up to. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So yeah, if you see these on the Pokemon Beware, or on the ladder Beware, you're going to be in a lot of pain. Which brings us on to the next point. So a quick note on the ladder. Recently, in the last week or two, I'm sure most people have noticed this, some of the veterans, that there's a lot of old cheeses coming back into play. So players who basically all in, do some bullshit strat and then just destroy you. So there's 2 things particularly that's been going on lately. Engineers being used with APCs and shin hooks. I mean, this is kind of an old classic. It never really died away fully, but it's been a bit more active lately. So here's a couple of points just on why you shouldn't be relying on these cheeses to win matches, and what a good counter to these things possibly is if you haven't come up against it before and are getting frustrated and being basically wrecked on the ladder and don't know what the hell to do. So why you shouldn't use engineers and APCs and Chinooks. It's for first place, it's not actually improving your gameplay or ability to compete on the competitive level. It's basically use of engineers tends to be quite an unfair mechanic. I mean, they're in the game, so sure, you could use them. I think traditionally the better players would only use engineers from an MCV cell that tends to be with their army just as a happenstance, or if you Rax crawl into your opponent after they've built like a forward airstrip, you stick a Rax right in front of it, build an engineer and walk it in, right? It seems only fair. The kind of counter to this is a little bit easier in terms of playing as Nod than as GDI. A couple of bikes tend to be able to snipe an APC if it's on the way, and a few flamers tend to be pretty accurate in terms of taking out an NG if it's walking around. If GDI, it can be a bit trickier. Grenadiers are not the best anti-scout units, but minigunners are probably your best bet in terms of walking NGs. Guard towers, there used to be this thing back in Season 1 where people who had APC NG tech out of the gate, like it's now required that you have a repair bay before you build an APC. Well, back then there wasn't, so it tended to be players got their War Factory tech, built an APC, stuck an NG in it, and just charged straight for you. The arguments at the time tended to be people saying that, oh, just build 2 guard towers and like he's not going to be able to get your Conyard. But the problem with this is that it forces a certain style of play, and it also means that if you happen to have spent the investment of, let's say, 1,000 and 2 guard towers at your Conyard, which by the way isn't 100% effective either, the APC is just going to run by your Conyard and go to your War Factory, right? Or a ref or something else. So it's not really super reliable. So you just need to make sure you've got good scouting, you've got some minigunners or whatever around the base, and just pray basically in that case. The second thing that tends to be going on a lot now is the standard Apache cheese, where the opponent will build either 3 or 4 Apaches. As soon as they get scout or vision of your base, they will send in the boys and GG. This can be countered. The catch to this and why you shouldn't really rely on it is that firstly it depends upon vision. You're not always going to get vision of your opponent's base, particularly if you're coming up against the top players. It's just not super effective 100% of the time. The other side of it is that it's expensive and leaves you super weak to a counterattack. Now, when you're first playing, as was the case for me, and this happens to you, you're like, what the fuck? How do I counter this? What? This is unbeatable. What the fuck? So there are actually options. As GDI, if they do manage to get your Conyard, just mash your Grens and charge into his base. They'll be broke. Having 3 or 4 Apaches out of the gate is super expensive. So focus on taking those out first, and then go for the Conyard, and then hopefully win, right? As Nod, I think it's less likely for this to kind of happen to you because you've got so many more anti-air options as GDI, but early bites can help. For sure. Or if you're stuck, just slap down a SAM site, but like obviously try to avoid doing this. Static defense like that isn't the best investment. If for some reason you are actually able to, lucky enough, scout the helipads, so you spot the Apaches before they hit your base, you can build a second rack beside your Conyard, a mass rocketman, and then just hold it. So it's pretty effective. Black Templar, how's it going, man? So yeah, these are just some things to be aware of, because I know from past experience myself that when you're getting cheesed on, it is super difficult to understand how it might be viable to defend these until you actually manage to do it a couple times. But after some experience, you'll find that you're able to hold this for sure. Awesome. So next up, onto some shoutouts. We've got the beautiful Pharaoh Wizard pictured here. He had his hot tub stream the other week, where he may or may not have also shaved off his head during it. So props to Pharaoh for being an absolute mad bastard. He's been trying out some TD ladder the past week, so that's always cool to see. And interestingly enough, I spotted another RA head in the TD ladder, as was here. Actually, it was funnily enough, I was playing some Red Alert for one of the days, bumped into him there, and then the next couple of days later, I ended up seeing him on the TD ladder, so it's cool to see. His builds are actually pretty decent, so I definitely say watch out for him if you're on the ladder this week. And of course, a special mention to some of the newer streamers in the TD community. So JL Gaza 95 is pretty much brand new to the game. I believe he's been streaming for like the last week, 7 days. He's already mastering the Rambo ref placement, so it's good to see. And then of course Adam, who's been playing for quite a while. Me and him always have great games on the ladder. He's started actively streaming too, so it's really cool to see. So be sure to drop those two guys follow and keep updated when they're live, so you can check out all the good TD content. Again, you can use !slides in the chat, and you'll be able to see all this stuff and access the links and all that good content. Hey DM, how's it going, dude? So this brings us on to content of the week. So there's been a shit ton of stuff that's happened over the last week, and this is again part of the reason for doing this kind of a series, is that we don't always have time to see all this stuff live, and it's very difficult to try and get a condensed list of everything that's been going on. So hopefully this is helpful for the community, right? So one of the big things is Parappa's been back. He's streaming again. It's fantastic to see. He used to be a top 10 Nod player, so it's cool to see him back. His first return stream, he ended up playing some Injustice for All, which was pretty cool to see. Myself, Crexus, DK, and Rambo were in there with him. So there are definitely some fun games if you want to see some crazy shenanigans. Also, one of the most spectacular Pokemon games I have seen so far to date, and I'm sorry, Parappa, for highlighting this yet again. I'm pretty sure everyone in the community has casted that game, but there's a particular game where Parappa ends up playing against a certain Pokemon and goes Humvees versus Buggies, and it is spectacular to watch. So definitely recommend checking it out. The link in the slides here is to Parappa's point of view for that match. So definitely check that out, especially if you're a GDI player. It's so good. And then generally some other good content that's going on during the week. Some of this bleeds over a little bit to the weekend beforehand because it's the first time we're doing this, but still. So Rambo had a 15-hour stream yesterday. Holy shit. I don't know how he managed to do it. I was originally planning to do this yesterday, but I ended up just watching most of that stream instead. Some spectacular games in there. Particularly, he had matchups against Kira and Crexus, who is a rare sight these days. So I would 100% recommend anybody looking to improve their game to check out those replays or check out the stream itself. He also ended up playing games against Meds, myself, Adam, and I'm sure there's a few others in there too. So definitely check it. And he has his face cam now, which is pretty cool. Adds quite a lot to the experience. So fair play to Rambo for getting that set up. Best of luck to him. I know he's starting some placement soon, so fingers crossed all goes well for him there. The next thing, the Rare Kira stream. So if you haven't followed him already, twitch.tv/the Kira, TheKhYira. He's one of the top CNC players for Tiberian Dawn. He doesn't play that often these days, but he's starting to get kind of back into it, which is cool to see. He's a former, I believe, SC2 Grandmaster, so his micro skills are off the charts. But the particular fun thing with this stream is that he was trying to train himself to use his hotkeys more, so he actually had his sidebar turned off during his stream, which is pretty badass. You think it's one of those things you take for granted, like, yeah, you might know the hotkeys for buildings and units, but you don't necessarily know how long stuff takes to build or when it's complete, and to make sure that you've actually built the right thing. And not being able to cancel stuff with a hotkey obviously makes it super tricky, so you really got to commit to whatever hotkey you press. So definitely I would suggest checking it out for a good laugh. And of course, as I mentioned before, JL, Gaza, and Adam had their first CNC streams, so they both actually had the VODs up on Twitch, so I think they're fun to check out. DK's been back streaming a bunch too, which is great to see. More GDI streams is always appreciated. He's of course playing on his 2 accounts, so one for Nod, one for GDI. It's a lot of good content there. One of the funniest things that happened during the week, totally by accident, was Bike Roshon's getting beaten by yours truly. That was pretty funny. I haven't been able to find the clip on the VOD, but if you find it, let me know. I can stick it in here. It's just a general link to the stream he was doing. I think he's playing Rivals or something, and then took a break to play a game of TD. Tried Engineers, didn't work. GG's. It's pretty funny. Gel, one of the members of the community, he's recently new to it. You can say hi to him in AOD's Discord. He's recently been doing a bunch of YouTube content on CNC Tip Dawn. Traditionally on the actual original game, but a lot of the mechanics and stuff still apply and translate over to the remaster, so definitely check him out on YouTube. He's been discovering a whole bunch of stuff about infantry speed and variations between directions people are moving, so that's super cool to see. So I would recommend checking out that YouTube video and maybe get some tips for improving some of your potential speed micro in the online ladder. Critical Meds, our very own GDI specialist, had a particularly interesting TD map editor stream the other day. He's currently working on a map and not necessarily playtesting it. He's still tweaking it around, but it is available to play on, and there will be a link in the next couple of slides to it. So definitely check that out if you've ever been curious about how the map editor works and how to go about planning stuff out. I haven't had a chance to watch the whole thing yet, but I'm sure it's really cool. And in case you missed it, because it's the first one of these episodes, we have AOD's Round 1 replay reviews. So AOD is actually taking the time to go through all of the Round 1 games from the Season 3 Plus Titans tournament and cast them all in succession and have them all in a nice, neat, compact YouTube video. So be sure to definitely check that out. It's great work from AOD, and I don't know how he's planning to do it for the rest of the tournament, but Godspeed to him. And then, of course, a shout out to some of the usual content creators this week. Myself, AOD, Rambo, DKCNC, Parappa56. Also, of course, Critical Meds is streaming, and I've seen Miss Critical Meds streaming as well, but she's been doing kind of non-TD content, but more StarCraft 2e stuff and Minecraft. So it's cool to see that people are still being active in the community, even if they're not directly streaming CNC. And the same with Black Templar Gaming as well. He's been doing a bunch of PoE and a couple of other games. I believe him, Kingpin Bro, and a couple of others have started doing the Master Chief Collection stuff, so that's cool to see. So definitely check those guys out too. And here we have some clips of the week. We're actually going to watch these, so it should be kind of fun just to have a sneak peek at some of the beautiful content from the week. So let's go out of this and have a look. So we got first up Critical Meds with his Press X to scatter. So after playing obviously CNC for quite a while, he's been back on StarCraft 2, goes to scatter his Banelings, rip, presses X, accidentally explodes them. GG's. Next up from DK, poor Adam got a really rough time from DK on the ladder for a few games. I believe in the first of their series he used an NG, so it was a fair game. DK was having none of it and decided to NG him back, and this ended up happening. Where DK crawled all the way up into Adam's base, NG this shit out of it. And as you can see in the chat here on the top left, GG's. Well played. Nice. So DK for sure enforcing the NGs are just not good to use on the ladder season. AOD here, obviously anytime someone suggests PZ lagging you have to clip it. So here we have it. Once again.
Yeah, I'm not lagging, so it's not PZ.
That's once again, I'm not lagging, so it's not PZ. Rip PZ, poor bastard. Rambo going with his classic new emote, Rambo Ref, and here you can see it in its prime. Hell yeah, boys. There's the Rambo Ref in action. And what is probably my favorite clip from the last week, from last night's stream. Rambo about to win on Tourney Desert. Didn't quite make it in time. Totally freaks out. Absolutely love it. Poor Rambo. Rip. It's so good. So some cool stuff to check out. This, as I said before, there's a work in progress from Critical Meds. He's doing his map. He has it up, so if you go into the custom map section on the client, you'll be able to see it. It's down as CM. If you just search Split Ends, you'll find it. So it's going to be 1v1. He has a v2 of the map up now, which is this. The v1's slightly different, so he's iterating on it. He's looking for people to try it out, give some feedback to him. So be sure if you do play it to ping him, let him know what you think. There's been a mod that was highlighted by Bronze Panic during the week in AOD's Discord, so shout out to Bronze for the Tiberian Dawn Mega Map Remaster mod. Now, I haven't tried implementing this yet. It's not super straightforward. It's just subscribing to a thing in a workshop. But essentially, this should enable you to have access to 128 by 128 map sizes. So basically, red alert size maps on Tiberian Dawn. The only downside of this is that you need to be using the actual LAN. Let me just turn the music back on. There we go. You need to be using the actual LAN setting on TD. So just be mindful of that if you are indeed using it. What else? We got the Cnc Stats Table. So if you haven't seen this, I took some time during the week to take some of Neargood's old README files and basically do it up in a more readable fashion. It still needs some work, but basically, if you're ever curious on how much a unit costs or their power requirements or any of that kind of stuff, you can come in here. You can check out the health of the units, the name of the units, hit points, speed, damage, their site. Same for tanks, aircraft, structures, walls. And there's also details in here that you can use to calculate the damage between different armor types. And there's a whole explanation, a little bit more easily readable than what's in your good stuff. If you are curious about the intricacies of how this stuff works. It's not a light read, so I would suggest if you are using this just to reference the tables if you're curious. Because quite often I find myself in a chat or something and I'm asking, oh yeah, how much is an Orca or whatever the case is. So you can just come here, do a quick search for Orca. Boom, there it is, cost 1200, hit points, blah blah blah. So yeah, definitely a useful thing I think to bookmark. Other things, the official CNC community leaderboard, don't forget that's there. I tend to get this question a bit often when I do season streams on like season 1, season 2 games, how to access those replays. If you go to the link in the slides, you can basically go filter this by season. It doesn't matter what season you pick. Go to the relevant player, check out PZ's alt here, and have a look. You can go through all the quick match games, download the replay here, and you just have to copy this into your documents folder, CNC Remastered, replays, and then it'll show up in your local section. So if you're ever curious how to access old Season 1, Season 2 replays, this is the way to do it. If you're looking to try and get really old custom games, unfortunately you can't access that through this site, so you might be a little bit out of luck. So yeah, let's get back to it. Hey, Yellow Man, good to see you, dude. Good to see you. To access all this stuff again, you can use !slides in the chat. I'll do it there, so you can actually look at this stuff at your own time, and you can flick through all the resources and cool stuff that's there. And an important thing to actually say here, with the automatic ladder reset stuff, I believe this is the exact text from their update with it. So the quick match ladder resets will now happen automatically every 3 months at the beginning of each month, starting June 1st. So I would take this that at the start of next month, the ladder will reset, is my interpretation of this. So I would make sure that if you've been trolling around on the ladder and stuff, then now might be a good time to try hard a little bit and see if you can finish in the top spots before the end of the month is out and Season 5 begins. So yeah, that's kind of all that stuff. So yeah, like I say, I'm thinking of doing this maybe once a month, maybe once every couple of weeks. We'll see how it goes. But if you want to feature any content replays, shoutouts, or join me on mic during one of these things, you just have a bit of a laugh, feel free to reach out. You can drop me a PM on Twitch or Discord, or ping me in one of the 101 CNC Discord channels. I'm in all of them. So yeah, that's kind of it for this. The next thing I'm planning to do here is just to have a quick look at the latest replay from each of these Pokemon accounts, just to have a quick look to see what they're getting up to, and then I'll probably call it a stream from there. Yeah, hopefully this kind of format is something that you guys are enjoying. I think it's something that's helpful to have, just again to bring together all the stuff going on throughout the community, because again we are quite a small community. I think it is good to make sure there's good visibility across all the channels and stuff. So be sure, as I say, to always support your content creators. And cheers, Blackie, for the bits. So yeah, that's kind of that. Let me just flick back over to the chat here while I pop open the actual game, and then we can have a look at some of these Pokemon replays. I'm interested to see what they've been up to. Yeah, hope you guys are having a good time. It's May Day here in Ireland, so it's a nice bank holiday Monday. It's pretty chill, pretty calm. As you can see, my current ladder status is, what is it, down here. I dropped a few ranks down to 31. It feels sad, man, but learning a lot lately. There was a really interesting part of Rambo's stream last night towards the end where you can see him actually giving me some coaching. I played through 2 games on elevation, and I've actually managed to already taken some wins from poor Parappa. Sorry, Parappa. Using some of the feedback and stuff that he actually gave to me. So that's really cool. And again, big shout out to Rambo for always being available for people who want to actually improve and get coaching and just get general feedback. And I think that it goes for most of the content creators here on Twitch. Like if you're struggling with your gameplay or something, I'm sure you could DM any single one of us. Like it's not a problem. Or even just hop on a quick voice call, have a look at a replay. If you don't quite know what's gone wrong, we can probably point it out. Quite often it's a case that the biggest issues that new players tend to make, I think, are things like underestimating your ref placements. They're so important to position correctly and to keep an eye on your harvesters, because they're absolutely morons, right? So keep an eye on your ref placements, keep an eye on when you stop producing units or structures. And if you've idle Raxes or War Factories or MCV, you should really question why you still have those buildings, and you should sell them. Gaza struggling with his Rambo refs. Yeah, maybe don't watch Rambo's content to learn ref placements, I will say that much. Definitely do check out the most recent replays from Crexus though, and Kira, to have an idea of what their level of play is like. Again, they haven't been playing for quite a while, so their building placement probably isn't optimal, but it's definitely stuff that I would recommend checking out when you have the time. So yeah, let's knock the audio back on here. And we're going to check out some Pokemon games. So let me just bring up the list of Pokemon I have here. We'll watch one game from each of them. Probably just the latest game. I don't have particular standout matches. I haven't had time to scan through all the games these Pokemon are playing. But yeah. So first up, we'll go from the lower ranks, I guess, all the way up. So save the best for last, I guess. So at 117 on the list is Flareon. And just as a quick reminder of who the Pokemon are, you should be able to see it here. So we got Weedle, Eevee, Poliwrath, Beedrill, Kakuna, Arcanine, and Flareon. There was also Venomoth I saw on some stream stick their head out, but they're not on the top leaderboard, so they're not featured here. But yeah, let's get back to it. So first up, we got Flareon. Let's check him out. This is a 22-minute game. Holy shit. Against someone called Solitaire. It's like Solitaire, but spelled slightly differently. Let's have a look. That isn't this game. What? I love the replay system in this. It has been made to perfection. Let's try that again. So click on the right replay, click and launch. We should hopefully do it. Probably don't need to see those details here. Get rid of that. Yeah, that's probably a bit of a better overlay while watching these games. So first up, rank 117, we got Flareon. Playing as Nod. I think most of their games have been Nod anytime I've seen them play. Alright, so we got top left versus, or top right versus bottom left. Tournament middle camp. I believe gold is the Pokemon. So this should be Flareon, and this is his opponent. This is a fairly standard Conyard placement for this map. Moving your Conyard from here to here lets you get 2 ref placements on the tib field here, 1 here, and then push into center and take control. Usually in Nod v Nod matchups, you tend to get turret wars going on towards the center here, which is always interesting. But the opponent here, it doesn't look like they're particularly high level or concerned too much in terms of their build order. An instant deploy here is a bit sketchy, but this kind of ref placement stuff going on is way too far away from the tip. Like, this is the kind of thing I was talking about earlier about ref placements not potentially being optimal and being undervalued. Like, this harvester travel time is just so slow. You really want your refs right up beside the tib so you can instantly get it and come back, get it, come back, get it, come back. Like, because of the distance of these compared to like this, the eco is just going to be so much stronger here for the Pokemon player. I might skip ahead a bit. Like 20 minutes is a bit long. So yeah, let's see what happens. So skipping ahead just a little bit. Looks like the Pokemon player here has gone for 3 refs. They got a strip. They got 2 more refs here. They got buggy action going on. Where the opponent's gone for 4 refs. Again, not ideally positioned. This one's good. This one's okay. Like, it's right next to the tib. These ones though, kind of trash. This one, yeah, it's all right. So we got some buggies. Yeah, Blue's still managing to hold on despite the troll refs. Seeing an advanced power plant. Side note to any new players watching: if you're playing multiplayer online, don't build an advanced power plant. I think standard power plant is 300 and gives you 100 power. This is 700, gives you 200 power. And the problem with that is you're basically paying an extra 100 quid for a bit of extra health that'll not really be worthwhile. So quite often you want to just build 2 regular power plants instead. And here we have a communication center. Curious why this match goes on for so long. Yeah, that's a good point, DM. You do need an extra orca to actually kill these. Seeing Stealth Tank come up. Pog Champ. Where's Parappa when you need him? Okay, so the problem here is these 5 rests are going to mine out this tib pretty quick. It looks like just the 1 Stealth Tank coming from the Pokemon here. Seeing the Obelisk come up in center, so I think this poor bastard seems to be cornered. I don't know how he's getting through here. His best bet might be to crawl across here and try and attack downwards, but we'll see how it goes. Let's skip forward a bit because this is only 4 minutes into like a 20-minute game. What the hell? Okay. Okay, where's AOD? We need to get AOD in here and admire some of these walls going on. What is this? What is this? Holy shit. Beautiful. This is some campaign mission bullshit if ever I've seen it. Okay, let's skip forward a little bit. It looks like the Pokemon here just isn't attacking into the opponent, although he's building light tanks, which is a good choice against this many buggies, I suppose. Let's see what we get. Oh, we get a nuke, boys. Some beautiful Temple of Nod play. This is very campaign player style. I like it. Got the MLRS, got the SSMs going on. Very stylish. At this point, I don't think the opponent's got much of a chance. He's trying his ref placements over to here, but it's not. Doesn't look like it's gonna pay off. Got the obelisk in here too. This is nice and clean. This is very covert ops. Oh, we got a second MCV. He must have built a MCV out of his Conyard, right? Or out of his strip. Moved it over here to deploy, I guess. Oh, and we're seeing the second. We're seeing the second base. Did we miss the nuke? We did miss a nuke, definitely here. Let's go back. Good catch, Blackie. Oh, let's have another watch of that. Because of the seek down here, of course, I can't jump to the exact second before it, so we're just gonna have to admire it in action.
Nuclear weapon launched.
Up she goes. Oh, there it is. You love to see a nuke. So yeah, it looks like the Pokemon here is going full base build mode down here too. Love the this little wall entrance thingy that the campaign actually has too. It's pretty cool. Yeah, going with the SAM site, the turrets, the obelisk, very nice, very nice. I think that's pretty much GG for a poor opponent. Fair play to the opponent for staying in here for so long. AOD's in here. Look at these walls, AOD. Look at them. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, and a second nuke! And he gets the Conyard. Holy shit. A 2-nuke game, boys. 2 nukes. Beautiful. So we're off to a cracking start looking at these Pokemon replays. So this was Flareon, I believe. So GG's. That was the first Pokemon game, and I don't know about you guys, but I am entertained. All right, who's next on our list? Arcanine at 86. Let's check out their latest replay. Against me? Oh no, this isn't going to be good. Shit. Okay, let's see what happens here. This can't be good. Looks like top left versus bottom right. Insta deploy from both players. I must have thought I was on Quarry or something, or Elevation with this insta deploy. What is this? So generally, if you're new enough to the game, Green Acres, and going for the ref placement here before the hand and nod, very risky. Generally speaking, you want to move your Conyard above the starting tip fields in both locations, so you can put this like down here, or else put it over here. So it's just to improve your crawl and ability to get refs on different tip fields. Because ideally, you want to get like one ref here, maybe one here, and then this one's kind of a pain in the ass to mine. Similar up here, if you move your Conyard over to this position, you can take these 3 tip fields and even crawl back and take this one, but again, this is kind of shit to mine. So the Pokemon here, Arcanine, going for 2 refs, whereas I seem to be AFK, or maybe building a 1 ref. Might be doing the cheeky thing I used to do against DM Raider with the 2 War Factory all in on Green Acres, I guess. Must be. This is the War Factory. Meanwhile, Arcanine here, gonna have better eco with the 2 refs, but this is gonna mine out a bit quicker. Also worth noting that this side tib looks more plentiful than this too, so there is that aspect to it. Also, no racks coming here from Danku either, so he's not actually going to be able to to build any grants or anything. This is very weird. I don't know why I did this. I must have been quite tired or something. But here we have the backwards airstrip from our opponent Arcanine coming out with the bikes. After seeing the War Factory, it's a smart choice. They know there's no infantry coming, so they can just mass bikes and destroy the tanks and run away. We can see how this is gonna go. MCV cell to War Factory, ship it. It's being sent. Will there be enough bikes to deal with it? 5 bikes versus 3 tanks and like very little infantry. It's gonna be rough. This Harv just standing here, by the way. God plays. Second strip coming here from the Pokemon too, and the MCV cell. In come the bikes, they're just going to eat up these tanks, especially when they're coming like this distance apart. Just take them one by one as they come into you. Easy. Oof. And that's gonna be GG. Arcanine's gonna take this one from Danku. Rip his points. Now, if he didn't scout this, potentially he might not have gone mass bike, so it might have worked, but it's always a risky move, especially when you're insta-deploying and like so far away from your opponent. Usually you're expecting your opponent to be more deployed around this area, so this is quite a long crawl for those poor medium tanks. But GG, Arcanine's going to take his win. So far we got the Pokemon winning on all fronts. Who's up next? We got Kakuna at rank 74. Let's have a look. Kakuna. I don't think I've seen any of this Pokemon's games before. Against retrieving? Don't know why, but 9 times out of 10 when I see this, it tends to be critical meds for some reason. I think it's a weird. I don't know if it's for my client specifically, but it tends to happen when an Origin player has played a game. And I think Meds and Kano both use Origin, so it tends to happen for those two quite a lot for me. So I actually know who the opponent is in this case, but I'm curious to see. So here's Kakuna, I believe. So we got the ref. It looks like a mini gunner push possibly coming in here. Hang on, let's quickly go back and just confirm what color is what here.
Control terminated.
Just to make sure. Okay, so the Pokemon's actually the Nod player in this game. So this is the Pokemon here. Interesting, okay. So whoever their opponent is just opened with 2 racks and is just massing infantry. It's interesting. I think if you're going to do this, you need to deploy like right up in their face and just keep flooding the infantry in. Skip forward. Don't want to hold off the infantry here. Pokemon going in for the attack. Looks like a fairly straightforward win condition here. 2 ref, 2 strip. Extra power, sell, send it. I can see it. Oh, it's the Black Templar AOD game happening today. What time are you guys playing at? A couple hours? That's for the losers round 4 of AOD's tournament, I believe. You got the flamers here, guarding the bridges, using the force fire mechanic. It's always nice. Boogie's gonna come in to deal with whatever this is. 2 hours? Nice, Black. Nice. Definitely be watching that. Yeah, Pokemon just gonna come in here and take out the Conyards. And the War Factory. GG, Kakuna's gonna take it. Nice. Nice one. That's 3 for 3 in the Pokemon front. Who's up next? Beedrill at 28. Pure buggy abuse DM. Never feels good. Beedrill against this Smurf account as well. If I win, I'll quit. Interesting to note that that person has like 100 more wins than losses, so question mark. But let's see how this goes. The Pokemon Beedrill playing as GDI in this game. I think quite a few of these Pokemon, I don't know if they're playing random or if they're just alternating between factions. I think Flareon only plays Nod, but I think most of the other Pokemon are flipping between the two. So here's Beedrill. Looks like he's going to go for the DM Raider strat. Deploy here, 4F, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 War Factory, and send it. Let's see how this goes. We got one ref here, expect to see a ref here, a ref here. Rip. It's got 2 refs versus 2 refs. Using a silo up here to get a nice ref placement. I see DM when he's doing this build, he tends to just go power plant and the ref here, I think, straight away. But like there's quite a travel distance between the ref here and the tip up here. So I think doing something like a silo here is probably good. You can get like 2 power plants maybe, get it slightly higher up. But a bit of ground pressure here from Beedrill. Meanwhile, if I win, I quit. Looking like they're going to build their airstrip at this point. Quite delayed in terms of getting their next structure, that's how you can kind of tell. It's like 3 ref here from Beedrill. It's got the second Rax nice and forward. It looks like you might be switching to a Rax crawl here instead of the War Factory placements. This is going to be quite scary for the Nod player, because like this is a dangerous position to put your airstrip nice and like forward into the GDI player, especially if they got Raxes here. Just need to put 1 extra Rax here and walk the NG in to take this. So yeah, you got to be careful with this. There's the Rax. Now he's going to have to make sure he holds this at all times. This is smart. I like this. This will instantly kill anything that comes out of here. So if an engineer walks out, it's covered. It's quite smart. Curious what Beedrill's going to do now. Looks like he's primaried this Rax, so the Grens come out of it instead of this. Smart. Just needs to kill the Flamer. I'm seeing a light tank come out from if I when I quit. Oh, there's the NG. Rip strip. Saw it coming. Oof. And then you get the nice guard tower up here. This will deal with any Flamers that come out with the Rax, so it really helps you get your Grens on top of this. So the light tank choice here, selling the Rax back here by the way, interesting. The guard tower here is very useful for dealing with these. The light tank is a nice choice to deal with guard towers and also squish infantry here. Floating 3, nearly 4k. We do see a comm center coming down for if I when I quit, so it's likely that they were going to go for a flame tank, but because the airfield got knocked out, it's not going to happen. Could possibly be building a second airfield just by the amount of money they're floating. If they're not building an airfield, they could be just building a couple of Apaches to help deal with this. Need to see more Flamers coming out. Don't be stingy, you got lots of money. This is gonna die. Oh, he's probably holding out. He's nearly done the airfield at this point, right? He really wants to get that down. He's probably aiming to put it here. There it is. I don't think he's going to get a flame tank up in time. I would have kept the Conyard, built the Rax here and sell this. You might have had enough time. But this is going to be grim. Flame Tank's going to pop out here, but I think this is just going to destroy the strip. Although the Harvester Squash is coming out. This is smartly played. Are we going to see one tank come out? He's no power either, so it's slower production. Oh, he's not going to get the Flame Tank. Rip. Oh, there it is. There it goes. Oof. I feel the pain there. It looks like Beedrill's going to take it. Pokemon, 4 for 4.
Battle control terminated.
Next up, we got Poliwrath. Playing against Jarda. Jarda Molina, he's been playing for quite a while. He's actually gotten really... He's been improving quite a lot lately, I have to say. I've had a lot of interesting GDI mirror matchups with him on ladder. He's one of the few players who I don't see just going 2 War Factory all in. So it's really nice to see him trying different things. But against Poliwrath, I'm curious how he's going to fare up. And Poliwrath going for GDI this time. And of course Jarda also GDI, so we're seeing a mirror matchup here. Curious to see what Jarda does. Don't let me down now, Jarda. I'm after talking you up a little bit. Interesting, little silo crawl here to get a better ref against the tip. Wonder how many players do this. Couple of Grens for anti-scouting from Jarda. Although up here it's going to get in and he's going to see this. GDI mirror matchups, you really want to restrict vision from your opponents. The less vision they have, the better. They won't be able to see if you're going War Factory or Orca or Comm Center. More important against Nod, because then they just send the Apaches in to farm you. But it's nice if you can prevent them from getting the vision. It's interesting, like Rambo was pointing out, I tend to do this too, where I'll put like a minigunner or maybe a grenadier at each one of these entrances, but you're better off putting it here and here for anti-scouting early on. That way they won't actually see if you crawl down here, which is the important part. Like they know in here you've got a Conyard and probably 2 refs. What's going on here? We got Poliwrath, they're going up to 4 ref versus Jarda, who's on 1, 2, 3, 4 ref as well. But he's opted for the 2 refs on this position. You'll see a lot of GDI players vary and do this occasionally. It's a nice way to get a lot of tib, but this mines out super quick. You need to really use this tib if you're going to get it this quick. Alright, we're seeing 5 ref up for Jarda versus 5 ref from Poliwrath. Jarda crawling downwards with a bunch of power plants. Sorry. Interesting, getting the scout in here despite all the anti-scouts too. Sells the... I don't know what that sell was about, to be honest. Must have been a misclick, right? Both players contesting for the... I guess it's only Poliwrath so far is contesting here. But it looks like Jarda might be planning... I don't know if they're going to plan to continue crawling here or if they're going to start pushing in this way. But we are seeing Orca coming out from Poliwrath. Interesting. And if we look at their vision... They can't actually see the Conyard here, but what they can do is land the Orca on the patches here and here, and then it'll show the vision. But instead, they're opting to go for a ref. It's an interesting choice. Up to 4 Orca now. Believe you need 7 to completely wreck a Conyard. Possibly 6 if they don't repair it. Similar with a War Factory, I believe. Whereas in the War Factory it's 4 to kill it if they don't repair it, or 5 if they do. So we're seeing the War Factory positioned here. This is unfortunately within the vision of the opponent, who you just saw there, clicked on it. The Rocketmen here would have been nice, although they are still in position here, so this is okay. Gonna lose the ref here. Thankfully the Harvester wasn't in it, so this guy is still gonna be able to use some harvesting and give some eco. There's a lot of Rocketmen. Like Rocketmen costing 300 each. This is quite expensive. He's got 4 here, 2 here, 3 here. It's like 9. And it's like 2.7k on rocket men alone. That's quite expensive. We are seeing the second war factory here from Jarda though. Is he just gonna full on send it, sell this and go? That is the question. Meanwhile, Poliwrath down here is continuing his eco expand, getting grenadiers like he's rushing down here. Get the Orca in to deal with the tanks. Does he have vision? He has vision of 1. Okay, so he should know that both of these are war factories at this point. Should be targeting these arguably instead of the tanks. As the tanks aren't on top of him just yet, these would have been the higher priority targets, I think. Well, we got a lot of infantry going on here. Mixture of minigunners, grenadiers, all that good stuff. Orca's coming in, going to help clean up this mess. This is the tricky thing in GDI mirror matchups. If your opponent goes all in, they can overwhelm you with tanks, but if you sit back and just have Raxes in key positions and build enough infantry to deal with them, you're going to be okay. Especially when all your Orca are down here and he doesn't seem to be pushing out that direction or even have it scouted. So this is going to hurt him a lot. Pretty soon here. Okay, he's going for the war factories now. This is going to hurt so much. Oh, Jarda, I can feel the pain already. Guard tower here, it's coming in useful. I'm not going to save this, sadly. This is always a problem with putting a ref on this center field. It doesn't take a lot for your opponent who's GDI to come in and gren it. Building a shit ton more infantry and just kind of plopping it here while he's dealing with this? Question mark? In comes the flood. Rocket men aren't going to save you against this, buddy. It's going to be GG pretty soon here, I think. These come in, get this. Orcas finish off the war factory. Oh, he's okay. He got the sell off, but he's going to lose the war factory here. At this point, you know, 5 Orcas, a shit ton of infantry. Just has to focus on the refs and the hars, and it's GG. Jarda knows it. GG. It's another win for the Pokemon. It's 5 for 5. Next up, we got our second last Pokemon here. Coming in at rank 21, it's Eevee. And I believe they've been one of the more active and challenging Pokemon to deal with. See another match on Tournament Middle Camp. This one 19 minutes. Quite long matches happening with the Pokemon on that map. Interesting to see. Alright, we got Eevee on the top. We got Alex M IRL 13 or IR13. Just gonna call him Alex. So Eevee going for an immediate deployment. It's a bit unusual on this map, I think, for non players. Most of them tend to move the Conyard up here, I believe. This gives you like a ref, but it's not super optimal. It's okay. It's better than this. This is too far away. Like, you should really use the hand and nod here if you're going to do this and put the ref exactly parallel to the Tiberian. Not sure what advantages this gives you. Part of it crawled up to here maybe, but you could always just go like power plant, hand and nod, ref, power plant, hand and nod, ref. Like, this is far away from the tip too. It's not great. That said, this ref from Eevee is also kind of shit. Second ref here. It's kind of a Rambo ref. I've seen one. Let's see, we got our Pokemon putting infantry in key spots, so they're going to have this all explored, getting a scout in here so they can see that the expansion's happening on this side, getting a unit down here, might spot the Conyard, not quite, so I don't believe the Conyard's in Eevee's vision just yet, nah. Oh no, here come the Flamers up top, so they're going to see it. Doesn't have a vision just yet. Is he gonna get it? Yes, he is. There we go. Now we can see everything. Whereas poor Alex, he hasn't actually sent out any scouts, so he doesn't know what's going on. Has gone for 2 ref strip. Interesting. It's exactly what Eevee's doing here. 2 ref strip. This positioning will let you to crawl down here if you want. You can get a ref here, and the downwards mining would be pretty sick. Seeing buggies coming out here from Alex up to his 3rd ref. Okay, okay. Seeing a repair bay go down. Interesting. Not selling it either, just kind of keeping it there. Alright, so expect to see what APCs coming here then? Yeah, there's the APC. Going for a side that looks like a crawl over towards the river strat side of things. Bunch of buggies here from Alex. Crawling over with the sandbags. Always useful to bind these to a hotkey. There's none by default. Alright, so we got the 1 APC here. Although he's not loading them up with engineers, so this is interesting. APCs versus buggies. APC is gonna have better armor against these dudes. It's pretty much a thick boy. Turret going down to help hold this. It's gonna lose the harvester in the ref. Ouch. Okay, still going APCs. Oof. That's power plant over here. He's gonna be able to get some refs down. And meanwhile, Alex is up to 5 ref. That's a Rambo ref. Okay, Alex just chilling with his buggies over here for some reason. Couple of APCs going on here. Hasn't expanded over here yet. It's getting a replacement ref here instead of down here. Okay. Okay, interesting. Couple more APCs. Oh, he's got an APC over here. He's paranoid that there's NGs in these, I guess. So he's just going to be chasing it around. Moving his whole army to do it. Fair enough, fair enough. Let's skip forward. I think someone's I've seen this game before, I think. Someone's likely shown it on their stream before, so I won't watch all of it. But Alex going in getting the harvesters. Interesting. Light tanks coming out from Eevee. Okay, okay. We've got the refs going down across the river. We got these refs have been dealt with again. Alex piling on the Connect 4 refineries here. Connect 5. Holy shit. It's next level plays, boys. Gonna pull away from this force coming in. Gonna lose this ref. Oof. We are seeing that Eevee has pulled away from the APCs at this point. He's relying purely on light tanks. Infantry doing some damage. Bikes are a good response to the light tanks. They should be able to eat them up. Let's skip forward a little bit. So light tanks still coming in here. Alex pushing back a little bit. I do see an engineer here from Eevee after selling the Conyard, it looks like. Is he gonna make it all the way down to the construction yard? Alex is busy dealing with this. Oh, he's gonna make it all the way down. He's gonna get it. He's gonna get it. And now it's his. Good unit, engineer. Good unit. He's just sold it, I guess. Surprised he didn't just build a racks and engineer the whole base. So Alex on the counterattack actually manages to get the strip here, meaning that Eevee's only down to infantry. There's still 5 minutes on the clock. Let's fast forward it a bit. So at this point it's infantry versus what is an airfield and a comm center, so I expect flame tanks here from Alex. Don't know why he's building bikes when there's only infantry on the field. They got 2 Honda nods, power plant, some refineries over here. Let's see, Alex still has harvesters, although this one's just died. This is last harvester on the field, whereas opponent has 2. Infantry are going to come in here and do some serious damage, it looks like. Like, why don't build bikes in this position? Build a flame tank. There we go. Go on, Alex. Alright, let's skip forward a little bit. Okay, at this point in time, with the flame tanks on the move coming into Eevee. I think Eevee only has his bike to his disposal. And he is actually going to get the ref here by the looks of it. And the power plant. Oh, no. These flame tanks are going to be too slow to move back here and deal with this. He's going to lose his production building. Oh, Alex. Not like this. Okay, Eevee can't produce units anymore, but only has these 3 structures left. Oh, Alex, if you'd only have something back here to defend. And now he's moving his whole army back instead. Like, the correct thing to do here would be base trade and just charge in here and hope to God you can kill those buildings faster than this. But we'll see. A couple of bikes are back now, trying to hold him off. Can he do it? Oh, shit. Oh, Alex. No. No. You hate to see it. Down to the last minigunner. Ooh, that hurts. So Eevee's ranked 21 at the moment. Actually, good to see you. Alex, I actually know where Alex is at the moment. We can have a quick check. Let's have a quick check. They're 70 at the moment. So they did reasonably well against the bullshit Eevee was throwing at them. But this brings us to our top Pokemon at the moment. At rank 20 is Weedle. Let's go check it, see what they're doing. Did not look like 21? Yeah. Pokemon counts tend to just be doing cheesy bullshit and getting away with it because of their skills, their micro skills. And again, coming against opponents who are a bit... Parappa against Weedle on Quarry, interesting. And GDI Mirror. Curious what shenanigans Weedle tries to do here. This is not the... is it? No, this is not the game with the Humvees versus Buggies. This is the game after it. Game before this from Parappa and Weedle is really spectacular. I definitely recommend watching it. The link to it again is in the slides from earlier. Definitely worth watching that. But it looks like we got Parappa on the bottom, Weedle on the top. We're going to skip past the opener because Quarry opener, you're always going to get the same thing, or more or less. You should see the GDI player getting 3 refs here, 4th ref here, and usually after 4 refs or 3 refs they'll get a War Factory. It looks like Weedle in this case is being super greedy, possibly going for a 5th and 6th ref before getting a War Factory up. Whereas Parappa being standard nod. Oh, he's actually playing GDI this game, sorry. So Parappa's being a bit more standard here with GDI plays. He's got 3 ref, then he's going for the War Factory, and now he's going to expand for the 4th ref. So he's behind in terms of eco, but he does have a War Factory up. This is interesting games that I played against DK on Quarry, I think, recently. It was a pretty long game too. We ended up going kind of split map on it, but neither of us went and opened War Factory first. We both kept getting refs until like we crawled all the way up to here. Then I started switching to Orca, and then he got Orca. It was interesting. But we're seeing here, you got to be careful with this power plant placement. If you're GDI, I've fallen for this many times, so my rule is now and forevermore, power plant before War Factory. Just always do it if you're on the bottom, so this doesn't happen. Super frustrating. Although, yeah, I don't think you can get out here because this is a tile of a building. So it looks like Weedle's coming in with... He's got the racks up here to defend... Parappa's got the racks here to defend this attack, so he's going to be okay. He's getting the medium tanks out, and it looks like Weedle switched after his 5th ref to get a War Factory. This is interesting. 5 ref War Factories is always... it's interesting to see in this map. I think it's probably the right call, because he's starting to get a bunch of vehicles here, and you're going to need something to deal with it. And if you're not going War Factory, you need a couple of Orca, so... Let's see how it plays out. Looks like Weedle going in for the scout. Okay, he's going to get vision of the War Factory. This is a reason why GDI players tend to put the War Factory down here too. It keeps it safe and out of the vision of the opponent, even if they get into this choke point. Like, it's more than likely your opponent's going to get here at some point. The chances of them getting back here, though, you can kind of hold them off. So it does look like Weedle's gone for 6th refinery, and is actually doing a racks crawl this direction. This is not something you see often, or an AGT crawl. Comm Center let him get an AGT down somewhere here, which is super effective against Grens once it's not positioned right on top of a barracks. So we'll see how it plays out. Meanwhile, we got the medium tanks from Parappa coming in here. Weedle's going to need to try and hold and defend this. This is a very forward and exposed War Factory. Don't recommend. As I said before, you're better off keeping them back here safe and secure. This is kind of baiting your opponent to attack into you. But meanwhile, it looks like Weedle is going to cancel his crawl into the opponent at this point and work his way up. It's faster than going this way, I guess. It's an interesting idea. I've seen the 2nd War Factory go down for Parappa. Gren's coming in up top, might get a ref. Now, what's Weedle going to do next? Get his refs here. It's a lot of silos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 silos. Gonna go to counter attack down here. There's a comm center coming up for Parappa. I think it's fairly common after getting 2 War Factories and 6 ref to get the comm centers, either for vision or you can just get the AGT tech up. It does look like Weedle's only going for 1 ref here. Interesting placement, and then getting a racks in front of it to secure it. Could potentially be planning to crawl up to the top right. He does a vision of this so he can see his opponents trying to get up here. A lot of tanks in position here. A few more tanks back here. Okay, so Parappa's on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 reps. He's gonna wreck this. Versus Weedle, who's on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 reps. Players are equal on the ref count. Not so sure about this crawl. This is pretty. This is like the Pokemon's chosen cheesy bullshit. Interesting bit of overlap in the textures there. Parappa going in with the attack. Seeing a 2nd War Factory coming up for Weedle. Quite delayed, but alright. Doesn't look like he's going to win this fight. It's going to be quite painful for him to lose this. Because he can get the tanks, get the War Factory, get the eco here, while his opponent meanwhile is kind of charging in here. Do see an Orca coming up quite late and very forward. Don't know about that placement. I mean, I understand one of these are for a crawl, but putting it in front of your opponent's racks like that, you're just begging to get it sniped. There's the ref going down. Don't know why Parappa isn't focusing this. Probably a bit worried about the tanks coming in up here. I would like to see maybe Rocketmen or Minigunners are more effective against tanks than Grenadiers, I believe. Rocketmen for sure. Minigunner is kind of questionable. They're faster in terms of their shooting and damage, I guess. I've seen a couple of Rocketmen coming here from Weedle. He spotted the tanks on their way. AGT coming up here is going to be painful. Will he get the ref? Nah, it's safe. Didn't manage to get the War Factory down here in this attack, which is kind of bad. He pulled his tanks back up, I guess. Couple of tanks sitting down here, Parappa. Get on it, son. Needs to take these tanks, push in up here, take this War Factory out. While holding this. See, Parappa does have a slight eco lead. He's up to 8 ref now. Gets the racks. Gonna have a tank off down here. Lost eco up here, so now he's really behind. Not quite sure what Weedle plans to do at this point to put it back. Meanwhile, Parappa's happy just sitting comfy on all these tanks. Can bring them up here. I can snipe this harvester. All the ecos kind of mining out of here and here. A lot of harvesters back there. Because of the lost refs here. Parappa trying to sneak past his opponent. But Weedle not allowing it to happen. Just trying to get structures up so that he can keep crawling. Rocket Man coming out. It's the right choice. Although a Gren here will take them out. Yeah, Parappa has this. Starting to move down bottom too. Looks like it's not going to be a full winning streak for the Pokemon here. Parappa is the hero of the story. Where all else failed, Parappa shone brightly. GG's, Parappa. GG's. They're fun games. You can see like the Pokemon are all doing kind of weird, bizarre bullshit. In terms of trying to figure out who they are, I don't think it's too difficult. I'd say one tip is that if you are watching these games, and I won't spoil my findings, but if you watch these games from a person's perspective, you can actually see what hotkeys and stuff they use. So it's an interesting way to try and dig out who's who, and it's a pretty damning way to figure it out too. So it should be fairly straightforward. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it for this stream. So it was a bit of fun. It was different, like I say. We had the whole state of play stuff, seeing how things played out. We have today, I believe, AOG Gaming versus Black Templar in their losers bracket. Round 3 is a Season 3 Titans tourney. So that'll be happening in 2 hours, or an hour and 45 minutes. Both of those people will be streaming, so be sure to check them out. It'll be like twitch.tv/AOD_gaming2 or twitch.tv/Black Templar Gaming. But yeah, hopefully this was good, guys. Be sure to let me know what you think. I hope to do another one like this maybe next weekend, Sunday, or the weekend after that. But yeah, I might be on ladder later today, but probably won't be streaming it. We'll see how it goes. I'll have a quick look now and see if anyone else is streaming CNC. We can drop them a raid. I don't know if you're hopping on Gaza. If you are, we can always drop you a raid, or if Rambo's back on streaming after his 18-hour, 15-hour streamathon yesterday. He's an absolute madman. Don't know how he did it, but he did somehow. Apparently yesterday Pharaoh got blind drunk the day before and didn't wake up till 6, so much. Oh yeah, you didn't have your best of 7 yesterday, sadly. I guess there's always next weekend, right? You coming on, Blueser? Yeah, I could drop you a raid, Blueser. Hop on, man. 2 minutes. I gotta fill 2 minutes worth of content. Alright. 2 minutes worth of content. What's a good 2 minutes worth of content? Does anyone want to see any build orders or anything? I can do that. What's a good thing to show? I can show this new Conyard move while Belu's just getting set up. This is something I've seen DK originally do, and I quite like it as GDI. So rather than deploying, so there's two kind of ways of deploying in this map I learned recently. The first one, well, this technically the second one I learned, but This one, if you deploy your MCV here, it makes it very hard for your opponent to actually snipe it as Nod against GDI, because they're going to be coming in down here, and they usually always come in here to try and take out your Conyard. But if you position it here and you have your War Factory positioned up here, you can actually defend this stuff pretty handily with the same units without having to crawl all the way down into here. Because your medium tanks are quite slow, being able to get them out of the War Factory down here quickly is great, and also getting the racks here is pretty cool. It also gives you the advantage because, like, in a standard crawl, you're going to get, like, you know, 2 refs here, 1 ref here, 2 refs here, racks, and then get a War Factory positioned here. The nice thing with this placement too on the left hand side is you can actually get a second War Factory pretty snugly in here. What you'll see on the right hand side of the map is if you do your deployment of your MCV here and then go, what way would it be? I guess power plant here and then racks here, you can get a War Factory positioned here. So it's quite a nice alternative way to do this and put your Conyard in a more defensible position. The other thing that you can do on this map, which is something I kind of picked up from watching Kira and Craxus play it a bit, is instead of moving all the way up to the top of this little breach, instead of moving all the way up to here, just move up 2 tiles, 1, 2, and deploy there. This will actually let you get nice, if you want to get 2 refs on this side field, you can go power plant, racks, and you can get 2 refs positioned perfectly on this field. It's another alternative way. This also lets your racks here have access to the top and to the bottom, so you can quickly get infantry down here to reinforce this, which is pretty cool. So you can see, yeah, 1 ref here. We'll get the second one now up here. There's some quick little tidbits of different placements and stuff I've been experimenting with after seeing DK and Kira and Craxus do different things on it. These little kind of adjustments can make a huge difference in some games, so be sure to try out this stuff. Don't be hesitant to always just go all the way up to here, deploy, and do the standard stuff. Experimentation is definitely a good way to go. And control for your opponent if nothing else. Like if I'm against Adam or something and my Conyard is up here and not down here, he's going to rush his bikes in and be like, oh, what? Then try come up here and take the Conyard, but he can't because there's racks in the way of it. Yeah, there's some top secret pro tips for the GDI players in here. But yeah, is Bloozer on? Come on, Bloozer. That was a solid 2 minutes of content. Solid 2 minutes. He is, yeah, he's up. Good man. Cool. Okay, we're gonna drop Bloozer raid. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I might be on tomorrow. If I am, it'll be at like 7:30 UKish team. But yeah, peace out, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. Happy Monday and all that good stuff. Peace out.
Reinforcements have arrived.